Merry Christmas. At some point this year you may have heard the famous carol that opens up with "Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even." While we're still celebrating Christmas, I would like us to take a look at St. Stephen's Day. We are going to quickly look at what St. Stephen's Day is and why it's so close to Christmas, and I will quickly introduce you to who Wenceslas is. The story of St. Stephen the Deacon is familiar to anyone who's read their Bible. In the book of Acts, he is one of the first deacons ordained by the apostles. The book of Acts records his death and his final moments. He was taken before a council and condemned to death for being a Christian. He was taken outside, and his accusers picked up rocks, and Stephen was stoned to death. He was the first Christian martyr. While there, he had a vision of heaven, and he saw Jesus Christ standing at the right hand of God. In the West, he is celebrated on the 26th of December. In the Orthodox East, he is celebrated on the 27th of December, because we extended Christmas by a day to the 26th, which is a day that we remember the Theotokos. So we celebrate him on the 27th. But in either case, we distinctly and deliberately celebrate him the day after Christmas. So straight after we celebrate the birth of baby Jesus, of the Savior of our souls, we remember the first death of one of his disciples. This sounds a bit rough, to follow up birth and life with death. But this paradox isn't a coincidence. The Church knew what it was doing, and our hymnography reflects this choice. Yesterday the Master came to us in the flesh, today his servant departs from the flesh. On Christmas we saw baby Jesus lying in a manger. The next day, Stephen sees him standing at the right hand of God. We are shown, even at such a joyful time as Christmas, that Christianity is a very serious thing. We are shown right there, at the birth of Christ, the power of the resurrection. We are seeing what the birth of Christ meant to the early Christians and what it means to us today. How strongly are we willing to follow this faith? Stephen is the first Christian martyr, and there is a profound value and honor to him for that. In many Orthodox churches around the world, his icon is on the door to the iconostasis that the servers will pass through. The ones that are serving in the church pass through this door of one of the first servers of the church. The very name Stephen speaks of the power of martyrdom. The name Stephen means crown. It is partly because of this, and partly because of the symbolism surrounding this, that even to this day the church refers to those that have died for Christ as having been crowned with martyrdom. These crowns are highly valued in the Christian faith. And they aren't just in martyrdom of death. In Orthodox wedding ceremonies for at least the last 1,000 years, the couple is crowned with two crowns called the Stephania. These crowns are very quickly associated with the kingship and the queenship that happens in the wedding ceremony, and this is true. But the crowns actually are there for a different purpose, and it is to symbolize martyrdom once again. When the bride and the groom are crowned, they are crowned in martyrdom. Each of them is dying to themselves and living for the other and living for God. The crowning is the most important part of an Orthodox wedding ceremony, even more important than the exchange of rings. The Church has always seen glory and sacrifice as being closely linked together. The legacy of St. Stephen is a very powerful one. And so here in this joyful time of Christmas, let's take a moment to think about what it truly means to follow Jesus Christ and how seriously we are willing to take this. And as we're talking about a famous carol, I would like to take a moment to say who Wenceslas is. He is indeed good King Wenceslas. He is actually Saint Wenceslas. He was one of the first Christian kings of a country that is now the Czech Republic. He was good and noble, and was eventually killed for his Christian faith by a pagan relative wanting to take the throne. He, like Stephen, is a martyr of the Christian faith. And every year, St. Wenceslas Day is one of the biggest holidays of the year. It is important to remember that this is a carol all about giving. If you don't know the song, look it up after this and listen to all the words. Another nice connection to make with just after Christmas is that in Commonwealth countries like England and Australia, the day after Christmas is referred to as Boxing Day, because of a tradition of boxing up food and leftovers and giving them to the poor. We are still in the Christmas season. This is still a season where we should focus a little extra on giving. So Merry Christmas as we continue to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ and his presence in our lives every single day of the year. And thank you very much. Thank you for watching Patristics this year. This is the final episode of 2022. We are going to continue into the new year and we're going to continue making episodes. If you've enjoyed what we've done this year, please consider supporting us. There are some links in the description below. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and I hope you have an excellent new year. To those who are celebrating Christmas on the 7th, or the original 25th, if you remember from a previous episode, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas when it comes, and you can re-watch this and the other Christmas videos and sort of shift them a little bit on your calendar. In terms of tea, once again, I am drinking a, I think, slightly Christmassy tea. It is a spiced cinnamon tea. It has cinnamon and cloves and orange and some other spice, but it's nice and spicy, and anything with cinnamon tastes Christmassy to me. Once again, thank you for watching, and thank you for joining Patristics on our journey so far. Cheers.